Hello.
Hello.
This is a stationary car. It is off. Just gonna start with that. I had no intention of doing this in a car, but I put up my thank you. I put up my planning quiz video a couple days ago now. It's Saturday today. That went up on Wednesday, and I filmed it like 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point. I don't know, I'm looking at you because you don't know, but I filmed it a while ago. And on Wednesday, which is in like 5 days, I want the next video to go up, and the next video is supposed to be me actually following this planning thing. However, work happened and I got boosted and got quite ill, and then things have just kept happening. It is now Saturday. I would like to put this video up on Wednesday, which means I want to have plotted the story by Wednesday, and I'm supposed to use the 9-plot dot structure according to the quiz results. Spoilers. You can watch that video up here if you want. Click on Markus's forehead somewhere and you can watch that video. But yes, I said to Markus that I'm gonna have to plot this entire video, or plot this entire book tomorrow, Sunday, because then work starts back up again and I have to edit this before Tuesday's over. And yeah, so I just need some help brainstorming this. We're not going to do the 9-plot dot thing now, but some brainstorming will happen, which I had plans for. I have a whole whiteboard at home I was going to use to plot this or to brainstorm this, but here we are. Markus knows nothing about this project. You know a little bit more than he does about this project, if you've seen the previous video, and I need help. So we're sitting in a parking lot charging our car, and we have a little bit of time to do that. So let's do a little bit of plitting. Why do I talk like that?
I do
so
not
let's do a little... You do know?
I do not know.
So let's do a little bit of plotting. So, my project for Nano is going to be a book.
Huh.
The only thing I really have is Prince attends a boarding school and falls in love. That's all I've said. I know a little bit more, so I'm going to say that, and then I was going to make a really good mind map on this whiteboard that I don't have, so I'm just going to gesture in the air.
It would have been beautiful.
It would have been beautiful, just imagine it.
Yeah.
And then I need input. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be, you may also input throughout this, but
Thank you.
It's going to be modern day-ish. I mean, I'm not saying it's 2022, but it's going to be, you know, around this time. And there is this tiny little micro nation somewhere in Europe that I'm going to invent because, yeah, that has a monarchy, and it's a hereditary monarchy, and I think it's male primogeniture, meaning sons are preferred over daughters, which might be important. That's why I'm saying it. And it's a small little nation. I don't know where it's located, but I'm going to invent somewhere, and it's going to make sense for that. Yeah. And we have this prince who I think is the heir to the throne, but I'm not sure if he's the oldest one. Either way, he is a bit of a party person. He's not very responsible, all these things, and he keeps having scandals, you know.
Yay.
And since it's a small nation, like the people in the nation, it's on the news, but Europe doesn't know. Yeah.
Europe doesn't care.
Europe doesn't care, no. So we have him. His name is Hugo. And he gets into trouble, and it has been happening recurringly. And again, I don't know if I want him to be the oldest kid or the oldest son, depending on how I do it, or further down in the hierarchy.
Succession?
Thank you. That's a better word. And yes, and either way, there's a really big scandal, or he just takes it too far. He's done it too many times. His parents, the government, I don't know. I also don't know if the monarchy is in power or if they're more representative and there is a government. But either way, people get fed up with him, and his parents and or government, depending on, decide to send him off to a boarding school so that he has to be taken out of this social life that he's in, put into a boarding school, mature a bit, grow up. And he is sent off to somewhere else. I had a plan as well to make a Pinterest board for this and make that a video, and that's not going to happen before Nano starts. And I haven't looked at Pinterest or really been Googling, but I know that what I was going to start Googling was German castles. Although I don't know if it's in Germany. I think it might be a fictional place as well. But either way, goes to this boarding school, and it's a pretty fancy boarding school. It's still like kids of diplomats, and it's maybe other royalty. But if it's other royalty, they should know him, because
Probably.
all the current monarchies in Europe are related. I will link a video by Lindsay Holiday down below, which is very interesting on that. So maybe not royalties, but like wealthy kids, diplomat kids, you know. He's also like early 20s, I should point out.
And the point is that no one at this boarding school is gonna know him.
No one's gonna know him,
Yeah.
except for he gets to. I keep in my head referring to him as friend and bodyguard, and I'm not sure which one he is. He might be both, but he gets to bring someone because he's gonna have to, you know, share a room with someone, and they want to keep him safe while he's here. So that person knows him. That is also the love interest, but nothing's happened between them in the past, and yeah, I have this thing like I'm not sure I want it to be bodyguard, because then it's someone he actually pays or his family pays, and I'm thinking of some recent YouTube scandals, and yeah, so it might just be a friend, but who cares about him? A friend who cares about him.
What?
Yeah. But the reason I brought up that there might be male primogeniture thing and that might be relevant is because I've been thinking he's gonna have a sister. Maybe. She didn't exist. And I was like, what if he had a sister? And then I'm going, maybe he doesn't have a sister. Or maybe the sister isn't part of the story. But she's his complete opposite. She doesn't use her royal title to get where she wants, what she wants. Doesn't use that to influence people. And I mean, I think it would be difficult for her to get any sort of career that isn't helped by the fact that she has that title, depending on what she does. But either way, she was gonna be, I don't know what she wants to be when she grows up, but she was gonna be, you know, really studious.
A spontaneous idea there is that if she is younger and she has previously been sent off to like schools abroad, and they're thinking like, well, she turned out well and she's done this, so that's why we're gonna send you away.
Interesting take. Very good, because I didn't think that far. But I have been thinking that she has this dream school she's wanting to go to, and that's where they send him. They send both of them, and she's like, yay, my dream school, my stupid brother is here. That's a good reasoning for it, though it wasn't just like, oh, our daughter's done some research, sounds like a good school. You know, but I don't know if I need her, and I don't know what her point in the story would be, and I don't know what she wants to study, and you know, all those things either. But yes, that's sort of what I have. He or they, the two of them, three counting his friend, go to this school. She apparently doesn't get to bring a friend. Maybe she's been to this school before. Like, yeah, either way. She could also be older than him. He could still be the heir if it's male preference. Maybe it's called male preference and not male primogeniture. Watch Lindsay Holiday. Either way. And then I don't know what the plot is. Yeah, I keep falling.
You should be in. You are the important person here.
And then I don't know what the plot is, apart from that eventually his scandals will catch up to him. People at school will find out who he is. That is all I have. That is all I have.
Cool.
That is not a book.
It's the beginnings of a book.
Yes, but what is the ends of the book? What's the middles of the book?
That is what brainstorming is for.
Yes. So now we're caught up. We're 10 minutes into filming this. Yeah.
Cool.
What happens then?
When?
I'll love it. Because I also have this. I have one quote. I have two things actually written down. One of them is Hugo telling his friend / bodyguard, whatever he is, that no, the bodyguard telling him, the friend telling him that you can't keep sneaking off like this, and he answers, then you gotta stop making me, like, you gotta stop letting me sneak away. And that's what made me think that he is more of a bodyguard there to look after, like, keep safe thing. But I have that, which I like, because they're gonna get into some stuff. And then I have, they're gonna be upset, so they're gonna have a fight, and the friend calls him Hugo, and he turns around and goes like, that's your majesty to you, or your grace, or whatever the terminology would be. So that's what I have. And that his scandals catch up with him.
And you said that this friend / bodyguard was the love interest?
Yes.
And is it the one you want him to end up with?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
It's the one I want him to end up with. But they are not a thing in the beginning, and I don't know if there are any feelings. They are very much not spoken in the beginning. Maybe the friend is interested in him, and that's sort of clear, like, to the reader. But Hugo has no interest.
No.
And for a while there, I was like, well, if I include the sister, should she have a love interest? And then I had this thought of what if her potential love interest is the person who figures out who Hugo is.
Hugo is.
Yes. And, you know. And I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a big, you know, yelling in the cafeteria, you're actually a prince! Or if it's going to be them letting the media know that that's where he is. Or, like, I don't know what that is.
No.
But yes.
Cool.
I want the love interest to be the end goal. End goal love interest.
Yeah?
Yeah. He also needs a name.
Okay, so.
Yes.
There's been a bunch of scandals.
Thinking, sex, drinking, partying, vandalism, maybe drugs. Yeah. Those kinds of
All
scandals.
the bad things.
Most of the bad things. I mean, not murder.
Okay.
Not...
Kidnapping, torture.
Yes, he stopped there. Yeah, no, but like... Yeah. Scandals, not actual crimes. Cool. I said vandalism in there, though.
You did.
Yes.
Yeah. And so he gets sent off to this school abroad.
Where he doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want to go, period. Doesn't want to leave his life behind. And he doesn't want to go there.
No.
No.
And potentially it's his sister's dream school or his sister's school.
Yeah.
Where she's already been for a bit.
Yeah. And when I thought her up, I was like, dual point of view, of course, because that's all I do. But she could still exist without having a point of view.
Yes.
In the book.
Yeah.
She could still be there, and this could still be happening without us seeing her through her head. Seeing through her eyes, or whatever.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to go there. He wants to continue his old life of drinking and partying and...
Yeah. He doesn't see a point to, like, I need to grow up. He doesn't see a point to studying. He doesn't see a point to changing his ways at all.
What does he think about the whole...
Why are you so far back? I want to be far back too. Oh, that's how I get in the shots. Okay. What does he think about the whole...
What does he think about inheriting the throne? Like, is that something that's just, yeah, that's my due, and whatever I, like, when I'm king, whatever I say goes because I'm king? Or is it I'd really rather not, that's part of why I do all of this?
Why I act out. I think it's more it's inevitable that I'll one day get it, whether I want it or not. I don't know if he knows if he wants it or not.
But it could be a little bit of like, that's where I'm gonna end up, but right now I don't have to care about that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna party as long as I can.
Right now I have a say and control in what I do, where I am, things. But one day I'll be stuck there, and the sort of, this the wrong word, cacophony that's the wrong thing. The juxtaposition of one day I'll have all this power that you have when you're a king of a very small... I'll have all this power, but I'll have no control of my own life. It's schedules, and it's banquets, and it's people, and it's,
a lot of responsibility.
Exactly.
So now I'm going to be irresponsible until then.
Yeah, and whether that's a thought he's actually had, I don't know, but it's... Yeah.
It's the sort of base of what's going on, even if he's not aware of it.
Yeah.
And there is this friend that comes with him. Are they friends, or is it mostly that this is someone that can keep track of him, or like...
That adds a nice little layer of, not enemies to lovers, but like, oh, it's my father the king's advisor's son.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe a bit of like, if
I hate it,
this
obviously.
if this friend, for example, I mean, it could be conflict either way. If the friend is like, oh, this is a really good school, this would be a great opportunity for me if I didn't have to keep track of this idiot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also thinking now, if I do that, and I want the don't call me Hugo, call me that, I need to earlier on have him be very rule abiding, always calling him your grace, your whatever. Yeah. And then have you can call me Hugo, and then have that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I want his name to begin on E. I keep having like Enrique, but I don't know. I also think that they will be in I'm gonna write in English. The school will be conducted in English, and I think that makes sense if they have a bunch of international students.
Yeah.
Regardless if I set it in a fictional place or a real place.
No.
But yes, E. Eric and Hugo. 4-letter names are the only names allowed, apparently. We'll figure it out. But E for now. E. That's not a good sound. Yes. So he sees it as an opportunity. He could also serve the role of, like, I'm not trying to write Hugo's sister out, but he could also serve this role of dream school, always wanted to go, and then he gets this idiot to tag along with him.
Yeah. So then, I mean, I guess in the beginning, Hugo is gonna try to keep up with his immoral lifestyle.
Beginning of being at the school. Yeah. Because I think it's gonna start with him at home. I mean, in his normal life, that's the status quo. That's how it should go. And then this is too much, you have to go, send to boarding school. And then yes. Yeah, no, I forgot.
What?
I had this idea that I didn't write down, so I'm gonna say it now and then hopefully remember. He was gonna be so upset about airport security. Because he's never had to go through it, or it's always been very mild. And I wanted to be like he gets searched or has to go through a scanner, has to wait in line to go through security, and is gonna be so pissed.
Doesn't get to fly
private. Yeah. It's gonna be in like business, not even business class, economy basic, just to carry on. Yes, I'm making fun of him, not flying economy. Just want to put that out there.
I mean, if you want him to be even
he has to
less
like a rowboat.
Yes.
That's how you row, by the way.
If you want people in the beginning to not have a lot of sympathy for him, or like feel like he's arrogant, have him fly first class, but he still complains about like being with the common normal people, and like all of this is
it's a step back for him, step down from private and limousine airplane. That could still work. Because I mean, somewhere in this, like, he is being punished for misbehaving and not being responsible and all that, but there is still the safety aspect. And maybe I like it being maybe not the king's advisor's kid, but like something like that. There should probably also be bodyguards. But also, if this is a school full of important children. Children sounds like they're 12, but, you know, maybe that's not weird. Maybe everyone has a bodyguard.
Yeah,
Or-
either that or maybe the school has some sort of like they have very good security, so he has bodyguards until he gets to the school, and then the school security takes over.
Yeah. Like a prisoner being just like handed over from one guard to another. Like, he's your business now. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the security in the school is really there to keep the students in school.
Oh, we're supposed to keep other people out.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. But
Yeah.
he gets to the school, he tries to keep up his partying ways. There are probably people there in the same mindset. People have just been sent there to get a good education, but, you know, as long as you get your diploma, we don't care.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I have a cat hair on my lip. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, so there are probably parties and all of that, even if technically it's not allowed.
What should he study? What's he actually there to learn? I don't want to write, you know, the curriculum, but he might have to be in a couple lessons, and I might need to know this is history, this is geography, you know?
Yeah. I mean, given that he's gonna rule a country...
It's probably politics and history and
Yeah.
those kinds of subjects.
Yeah. Statsvetenskap. Like... Yeah,
Yeah.
learning about how countries work and how diplomacy works and those kinds of things.
Yeah. So he keeps that up for a bit.
Yeah.
That being the partying,
Yeah.
not the school.
Does he go to classes at all? Like, somewhere there has to be a shift from doing all that partying to...
Starting to care.
Yeah. And depending on how bad he is in the beginning, that needs to happen sooner. Like, if he's really bad, like, I'm not gonna go to a single class, then it has to be fairly quick that he gets the change of heart.
Yeah. May I steal your phone real quick? Because we're charging on mine. We're also filming on mine. The phone is in fact not charging the car. I'm gonna look up the 9 dot plot dot. That's not what it's called. 9 step plot.
9 dot plot dot.
9 step plot dot plot dot. No. That's not it. No, because it has. I know it has like. It doesn't have the darkest night of the soul, but it has 9 steps.
Yeah.
One of them is the final battle. There was at least one earlier battle. You know? Yes, so it's ordinary world. I feel like we have that. The inciting incident is that him being sent off. It is the call to adventure. That's him being sent off to boarding school.
Probably.
First plot point is point of no return. That's very early.
No. But point of no return, what... Can you think of something that, like, would make him change his ways? Like, something that would...
Is this for him to be unable to return to his previous self?
Yeah.
I mean, if he has... That's very early. It's too early. But if he started caring about E, you know, and E really wants to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's very early for that shift to have already happened. I don't want them pining for many percent of the book.
What about feeling responsibility towards his people? His country?
How is he going to start feeling that if he hasn't already, though?
I don't know.
No. I mean, maybe.
Realizing that these are things I need to know, or maybe... Yeah?
No, continue.
I was thinking maybe if he gets called out or somehow realizes that people look down on him because he's not doing well in school, and then like, okay, fine, I'm gonna study something.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that he's always had a very easy time making friends, and now he's around people where no one likes him, not even the person not sent there to keep track of him, but sort of. I was also thinking something much worse. I also understand that, like, studying for a year or 6 months is a very short period of time, but say he's been enrolled for 6 months, and for some reason he can't return back home, which for this to work, which I don't really know why that would be a thing. Maybe there's no first class flights, I don't know. Something happens back home in his country. The king passes away.
Mm-hmm.
Something. You know?
Yeah.
Then it's very, very real and very sudden that he's going to have to take responsibility. But it's also very big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it has to, but yes, his father dying is personal and like, but it feels like an outside thing and not an inside thing.
Yeah. But isn't also like, oh, no one likes me, I have to do good. My people needs me, I have to do good, are also outside things.
Not in the same way, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but my thinking is that if his father dies and, oh, I have to suddenly do this thing that I was always going to have to do, but I thought it was going to be 15 years from now, that is I don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
If it's no one likes me, or I feel like I'm not as, like, everyone else thinks they're better than me, then it's I decide to try to change this.
That's true. But also looking at this,
Yeah.
the midpoint is the shift from victim to warrior. Isn't this also a mindset shift? Or like where you just said, I can change this, sounds more like that. I am taking control here. I'm going from just having to live with what's been dealt to me, and now I make my own decision.
Yeah. I'll read what the descriptions are for this. The first plot point of no return. Your MC may have tried to avoid the call, but now things are getting weirder / more intense, and they're forced to make a choice to join the action. Everything changes, there's no going back now. How does the situation escalate? What forces your MC to choose? How do they feel about it? And then the midpoint, your MC continues to face new challenges, but they're on the defense, mostly reacting, waiting, making things worse. Then, halfway through the novel, something happens to shift their perspective and spur them to take action, to stop reacting and start winning no matter what it takes. What does your MC try when they're on the defense? What shifts them into offense? What new plans do they make?
Okay.
So the way I see that is that the first plot point could still be say, for example, there is a big test in school. I do worst of everyone.
Because I didn't care.
Because I didn't care. I didn't study.
Yeah.
I thought I could just cruise through it. But now everyone looks down on me. I'm going to do better because people shouldn't look down on me. And then the midpoint is, rather than I am doing this for me, for people to respect me, starting to more respect other people, or starting to actually care about other people, and like, I'm not just doing this for myself anymore, I'm
doing it for an else.
Yeah.
Okay. I just realized a problem I have at plotting. No, because like I when I plot, when I pants, I'm like, oh, I might have a small idea, and I have a mild direction I'm going in, and then I'll just connect the dots. But with this, I'm like, no, but I need to do the next thing. I need to do the next thing. I need to do the next thing. And when you said the first plot point that like, oh, things are starting to get weird, and I might have to lean into it and all that, I was like, no. The first dot on this is him living his normal life. The inciting incident is the scandal. The first plot point is it coming out. The scandal coming out to people. Which, and I drag it out so much, and you're like, no, it could be a big test in school. And I'm like, a big test in school doesn't happen until like a month in at least, and then what happens in between him getting to the school and...
He's partying.
No, he blacks out for a month.
I mean, partying is that kind of thing where like you can very easily skip time.
Yeah.
Because he goes to a bunch of parties. He can basically just write that. He goes to a bunch of parties and then a month is gone.
I think maybe if the first plot point, why is the third thing called the first thing? But either way, the first plot point could be, like you said, a big test or a big debate or...
Yeah, it might be better if it's something public.
Yeah, and because he's always been a charmer. Yeah. People always liked him. And because that also gives a contrast between he's been at the school, he has been partying, and made acquaintances, if not friends. You know, he's kept up the same kind of life. He gets along with them. They like him because it's a party environment that they're all in. And then he gets this debate. It's against one of these people that he started to get to know, and they completely obliterate him. They completely obliterate him, and because they've been studying, they've been actually doing the work, and he realizes, oh, it's not actually a popularity contest anymore. It's serious.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if he has been to every single party, like, that's been...
He's ticked them off in his calendar. What, haven't you been, like, making a study plan? Sure! On Monday at 5 p.m. we're going for cocktails. On Tuesday... Yeah. He doesn't even know his way around the school at this point. All he knows is, like, the dorm. All the parties. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, he's been at every party, and... Other people are like, yeah, I go to a party, but then I study, and then I go to a party. Like, I skip 5 parties. Yeah. Or I'm not invited to all of, like, I actually do studying.
And he doesn't care, like, I think he'll be good at remembering people. Remembering faces, like, oh, I know you. Because that's how he's gotten through. That's how he's gotten, like, made friends and been invited to things and all that. But he's not... present enough. I'm not saying he's drunk or high or anything, but he's not caring enough to consider that, oh, I haven't seen Steve for 3 weeks. No. It's, hi, Steve, party, whoop, whoop. And then 3 weeks go by, hi, Steve, woo, woo. You know? Yeah. It's not...
Like, he recognizes people, but he doesn't really care, because everything... a little bit like everything is about him. He's there. That's the important part. Yeah. And... who else is there is not actually important.
Yeah. I like this. I do have a question, though. E. Where is E during all this? Because E has been sent there to study and sort of look after Hugo, but he cares about the school, so he's probably not been at all the parties. No. And if they are roommates, maybe it doesn't matter if Hugo has actually seen him say no to parties, be upset when he himself stumbles in at 3 a.m. You know, maybe, because again, it's not you, it's me. You're a party pooper. I'm fun. Yeah. Yeah. Lovely.
And I just imagine if Hugo has managed to like rope E into coming to a party, then E has been sitting in a corner with books or with other people actually discussing politics or the subjects that they're studying.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and so there's this big debate, public speak, not a speech, stuff like that, and he completely fails, flunks, unprepared, whatever. Yeah. And that makes him go, oops, I should maybe start caring.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think not just the fact, the way I'm imagining it is not just the fact that, oh, I failed, but the people I thought were my friends or the people I thought respected me are now treating me differently because these people have now realized that, okay, you are just here to party.
We can have a good time, but...
Yeah, like, you're fun at parties, but you're irresponsible. You have
no substance to you at all.
Yeah, and like, we thought you were like us, but you are just a party animal. You have no interest in this school that we are all, after all, kind of proud to be at, we no longer respect you, might no longer invite him to parties as often, or like...
Yeah, and also, because, like, even if there are, you know, rich kids and diplomat kids, don't mean to bunch them together, but, like, there can be other people at the school who are just here out of necessity, because I should go to school and this is a fancy one, sort of. But he doesn't need to learn.
No.
For, like, I don't need to learn. I'm going to inherit a country. Oh, you're going to get some money, but I'm going to get a country, you know. Other people might actually take school at least more seriously than he does.
Yeah. I think it matters that this first plot point thing, not only, oh, you're failing in school, but also
your social status is plummeting.
People don't respect you anymore.
Yeah.
Because the impression I've got of this person, just based on this, is that he doesn't particularly care if he's doing well or not.
No.
But he cares that he's popular.
Yeah, he cares about how he's perceived.
Yeah. And
he hasn't cared about... But that means he hasn't cared about how the public perceives him. Because the public has been upset about him partying.
Yeah. But I think it might be more...
personal. They tell him to his face they don't like him. It's not just the tabloids.
Yeah, it might be that like he always had people around him back home who like enjoyed partying with him, or like potentially didn't like him but always said that they liked him, and
back home, I'm not saying this is true, but back home it might have been people gained popularity by being with him. They got part of their identity from being friends with the prince.
Yeah.
Here, no one cares. Everyone has their own identity. Everyone has their own legacy, their own, you know, expectations on themselves and from other people onto themselves.
Yeah.
But they don't care if they know him or not.
No.
But at this point, no one knows he's a prince. Also important to point out.
Yeah.
No one. Well, E knows. We are falling. I wasn't saying he would flat out go and tell people that, well, I'm going to inherit a country. Oh, you suck. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, but back home, he had people around him who at least he thought were his friends.
Yeah, and they stuck by him no matter what.
Yeah.
Scandals or no scandals, studying or no studying.
Yeah. But here he realizes that all of a sudden, no one respects me. I don't have friends. I'm alone. And that could be a fear for him. That could also be a reason why he doesn't want to be king, or that is a little apprehensive about the whole kingship because it's very lonely at the top. And he doesn't want that.
Are you starting to feel bad for him?
No.
Hello.
Hello.
We're back.
I'm Smell.
Yes, Markus shrank, or I grew. We're not quite sure. But we're now back home, and I hope the audio is fine. I'm using my new microphone that Markus gave me and got me for my birthday. You can't abbreviate gave and got. Gave.
Got.
Yes. But we did talk some more in the car, and I tried recording the audio on my phone, and that just refused to record. Or it recorded, but the file is nowhere to be found. It's not saved anywhere. So we're going to try to recap what we figured out in the car, what we talked about in the car. So we had figured out the first plot point being Hugo fails that, or loses that debate, or doesn't do well, and he realizes that people are just laughing at him, sort of. Yeah. They don't like him. And then the next plot step is the first pinch point, which is the first major interaction between the MC and the antagonist, and what happens if the MC doesn't defeat this in the end, sort of.
What are the stakes?
What are the stakes, exactly. We had a few good ideas. Yeah. We talked about the antagonist not being a person. The antagonist could be the media. The antagonist could be yeah.
You had the idea of a blog.
I had the idea of a blog. I was going to mention that too. Someone on campus creates this gossip blog and starts trash-talking other students, or all students, and Hugo realizes that, because this is the same treatment he's been put through, things that happened to him from the media, but this is the first time he sees someone else be hounded in that same way, I think. And it's like he might be able to have it, you know, just roll off his back. He doesn't really care, but he sees it affect other people, and that could be a call to action kind of thing as well. But then we talked about how the antagonist could also be, it could be the media, it could be the blog, which are linked. It would also be an interesting link between his treatment and and also we talked about how it could be his parents that are the antagonists, and they or the government set about changing the succession. Instead of him being presumed heir, they would change the succession so that whoever's burn first.
Whoever burns first.
No, whoever's born first gets the throne regardless of gender. Not whoever in the country is born first, but whichever kid of the ruler is born first. And his sister could be older, or he can have another sibling who is older, and or they could also threaten him with disowning him, that if you don't shape up this next year, we will disown you and the throne will go to someone else. And you mentioned it could maybe go to a cousin or someone further down the line.
My thought had been that, like, if it before this change, it was that, okay, it's Hugo or it's a cousin of his who no one wants to see on a throne. People want to see him on the throne even less than they want to see Hugo on the throne. For some reason, I don't know what's wrong with his cousin, but you know.
You don't want to know if that's the way people feel about him.
Yeah. But now, if things changes and his sister could be next in line, then his parents are like, okay, we would not be okay with giving the throne to your cousin, but we can give it to your sister. So now we feel comfortable disowning you if you don't shape up, because we know then that your sister is going to do a good job.
Yeah. And then we talked about the sister for a bit. I don't think she'll be a point of view character. I think I've settled on having a single POV. I'm not sure though. Don't inhale your grapes. We talked a bit about the sister and what her goals and dreams and ambitions are, and you suggested that maybe she could she has this life plan, these dreams that she wants to achieve, but she would turn all that down for her country if she was given the throne. She doesn't want it, and she's never expected that she'll get it, and she doesn't, you know, she respects the monarchy and she is a good representative of it, and probably not having to work very, very hard to be that.
But she's always been happy to be
in the background.
Yeah. She doesn't want to sit on the throne.
No. And unlike Hugo, she doesn't use her name as a way to gain favors, friends, fame, fortune, fucks. There had to be another F.
Yes.
You know, she doesn't do that, which he always does. So we talked a bit about that and different ways of how to do that. And I think Hugo would shape up if given the threat that if you don't shape up, your sister will inherit the throne instead of you, and him knowing how badly she does not want this public life.
No, we talked about how, like, if for this threat that you're no longer gonna inherit to mean something, to mean that he changes, at first we said that means that he has to want the throne.
Yeah.
But then we concluded that it could also be that even if he's ambivalent about wanting the throne, he cares very deeply for his sister and wants his sister to live the life that she has planned, that she wants, that she's happy in. And
which is not a public life.
Yeah.
And if that is career, or if that is marrying a commoner, or like whatever it may be, he wants that for her. Yeah. He doesn't want the throne, but he's at least ready to take it.
Yeah. and
take it by force.
Yes.
He will. Yes, the end goal of this is that he will overthrow the king and take the throne by force.
Huh.
We didn't talk about that.
We did not talk about that, no. But he's always been like, okay, I know I'm gonna get the throne.
Yeah.
Whether I want to or not. Now I'm gonna have to work for it.
Yeah.
In order to save my sister from this fate.
Yeah. Sort of, yeah. So we talked a bit about that, and then we talked about whether or not... the original file would have been a lot more interesting to listen to, but it's fine. We talked about whether or not, like, why he didn't tell people at the school that he's a prince.
Yeah.
And came to the conclusion that someone early on when the book starts, like after the big scandal, but before him being sent to the boarding school, or on his way to the boarding school, somewhere there, someone tells him that your friends aren't your real friends. They're not friends with you because they like you. They're friends with you because of your name, because of who you are. And so he makes a pact. He decides, like... A vow, sort of. Not necessarily to anyone else, but himself, that I will not use my name. Like, he'll still go by Hugo, but he's not going to go by his title and...
He's not going to tell people that I'm the prince of this country, I'm the heir to the throne.
Exactly. He's going to just show them... He's going to show the people back home that he can get somewhere without his fame, without his inheritance.
And to him, getting somewhere means getting people to like him. That's his...
That's all he cares about.
Yeah.
We never settled on the antagonist.
No.
We talked a little bit more about the blog. Hi, Katniss.
Hi.
Yeah, he's allowed to be in here.
And so are you.
We talked about the whole antagonist thing, and I do like it. I do like it being the threat of being disowned and his sister having to step up and do things she doesn't want to do, so he'll step up for her, so that she doesn't have to do that. I do like that. But I wonder if that's just very close in time to failing the debate and then failing his parents.
Yeah, right. We also talked about, like, why does this threat come so late?
Right.
Why did they not say that when they sent him away? That, hey, we're sending you away. If you don't get better in this time, we will disown you.
I mean, I don't think it's completely weird if they send him off to this boarding school to improve himself, do better, grow up a bit. Then he fails his debate, and that news reaches them. And then some time passes in the story. What he does, what happens, I don't know. He probably starts studying and starts bettering himself. And then they get back to him. Because the school told... I don't know who told them. I don't think he called up, hey, I fucked up my debates. But, you know, somehow they found out. And then they contact him a bit later. And are like, we thought you were going to take this seriously. You're not taking this seriously. Because of that... we have started the process of changing the succession. I do also think I still stand by what I said to you in the car, that I think it's a very weird way to run a country.
It's a weird way to run a country. You said that they would start the process
Yes.
of... yes, but thinking realistically... that is a long, long process.
I didn't wear this out, okay? This is about PJ pants with the dress I'm wearing. It's fine. It's a long process, yes.
Yeah. Depending on the way the monarchy works, that is the kind of thing that I think would take many, many years to get through, votes or changing...
Constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And... would possibly, if there is a government that has some say in these things, it might not even pass, it might not even happen.
Right, so it's a bit dependent on whether or not he improves. Like, the suggestion is out there. But, okay, two thoughts. Thought the first was that I said in the car as well that, like, if nothing else, since I'm setting this in modern times, the people in the story, could claim that they're doing this change or they're pushing for this change because it's happening around Europe. Like it's the modern thing to do. But secondly, if the sister is older and they change the succession so that she would inherit, well, they change the succession so the oldest child inherits, period. Whether or not he improves, because at that point, if that's this is the stakes we're giving you, if you don't do better, the people, the government, whatever, might vote to change the succession, you know, and if he does nothing, they might vote in favor of his sister, or changing the succession, and if he does improve, they might not. That is a bad thing, because then they've just said that boys are more, or men are more important than women.
Yeah, and I also think it's too abstract.
Yeah.
But I am wondering if this process was started a while ago.
Yeah.
And it's been going through things and like it's been going through votes, and there are people against and there are people for, and there are debates, and there are like and if it's then,
I have a really good thought, continue.
If it's then after like a bit after him failing the debate, it goes through, and like no one thought it was gonna go through, or he didn't think it was gonna go through.
Nor did his sister, probably.
Yeah.
If she took the time to make these life plans,
Yeah.
you know, and if she is older.
Yeah. So like,
If she is older. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm thinking even if she's younger, because you didn't want her to be older.
I don't want her to be older because we talked about that and how she would accept this. Like she would, if the constitution was changed and if she becomes the crown princess, she would take it. She would drop all of her things to do her duty. And you suggested that he could shape up and she could see that he's doing better, abdicate, and he could get the throne and she could get her life.
No.
I don't want her to do that. I don't want her to abdicate.
No.
So if she's younger, continue.
Yeah.
Her parent or their parents could still threaten to disown him.
Yes, I'm thinking if this has been going on and there's been a big resistance in the government or wherever, and so no one has really thought that it was gonna pass.
Who are voting? Is it the people or is it the government?
I don't know.
Okay.
Either or. And now suddenly it does pass, and potentially everyone thought that, well, even if it does pass, it's not gonna affect this generation because he is older.
Yeah, it's gonna be his kids or grandkids or yeah.
But now his parents, with this passing, with him failing. And him, I think maybe not just failing
no,
that, but like everything, and the fact that they, like, his parents find out that he hasn't been taking any classes at all, and like he's not taking anything seriously. With that, they now can give him the ultimatum of,
if you don't do better, and then he will shape up, not because they say that, but because what would happen to his sister. Yes, I like that. 2 thoughts. 1, the brilliant idea I had.
Yes.
So eventually the media is, well, okay, 3 thoughts. 3 thoughts. There is no media chasing him at the school. The media from back home does not know where he is. The media in whatever country he's now in doesn't care because they don't know who he is. But sooner or later, the scandal will spread. Like, the school will find out, his peers at school will find out when he has started doing better, started actually making friends, started turning things around. The scandal will break.
And they'll know it's him.
They'll know it's him.
Yeah.
They'll know it's him. They'll know that what he did, that, you know, this secret shame, whatever they didn't want out, is going to be out. And that's going to be a blow to him once he's, you know, but my life was on the up, and now. Yeah. And that will be a test of who his true friends are. Yeah. For once, people will actually, people might actually stick with him. Something.
Yeah.
But I still kind of like the idea that the person who beats him in the debates is someone that he will see as an antagonist. Might not be the antagonist of the story, but still, they don't get along. And I just had the idea of, like, because debates I feel like are going to be a recurring thing for some reason, but like it makes sense. And down the line, before the news is broken, there's a new debate and he's paired against that person again. And I don't know if this would work in a school setting, but like they get to flip a coin about which person gets to decide the topic of the debates. The opponent gets to pick something that just jabs at him, because that person has at that point found out. And because I was thinking my 3 is that we talked about in the car what he's done, so we're gonna veer off on that and then come back to part 2. Did he drink and drive? Did he have a sex scandal? Did he vandalize something? We ruled out murder, we ruled out torture and kidnapping. That did not happen. But you suggest it might have been a drunk driving accident. No one got killed, but someone got hurt. Yeah. Kind of thing. And it was something that rubbed people the wrong way. Apart from just that, or whatever it was he did, most people, common people, ordinary people, would get fined or thrown in jail or community service or a proper punishment. He gets let off because he's the heir to the throne. I mean, paying a fine is nothing to him because that's the taxpayers paying. So, sort of. And back to the debate, the second debate, the opponent has found out, but the news haven't broken yet. I don't know how they found out. They draw that they get to pick the topic, and they decide the topic, and then they have like a week to prepare, I don't know, something. And they're like, the topic for this debate is whether or not drunk drivers should be in jail. Or something like that. Yeah. And Hugo realizes that shit, they know. Which means more people will soon know, which means, and he can't really defend his actions either, because if he did drive drunk and hit someone, there's no way you can be like, well, I think it should be acceptable given the circumstance. It was a really good party. Like, there is no way to justify that. But I think that would be good, that he gets jabbed with that. The news aren't out, but he gets that they're coming out. That opponent might also be like a media mogul's kid or something. They've, like, through the grapevine, things are... I like that. Yeah? Yeah. Yay. Go Hugo. But I mean, the scandal has to come out, because it's very anticlimactic if it doesn't. If all he gets is, oh shit, this person, my opponent, my antagonist, my villain, whatever, knows. It has to break. And he has to own up to it. Somehow. Yeah. How, I don't know. And throughout this, he also has to be falling in love with his love interest. We can't forget that little detail too. And there is this little voice at the back of my head that wants the blog to be written by his sister or the love interest. And I don't want that. I don't want that. It would make for good, fun, painful, gut-wrenching pain. But I don't want it.
If you want a little bit of that, but not all,
it's himself.
Yes.
he sleepwalks.
Yeah.
It's like, wakes up in the morning, checks his phone. Someone's written something mean about me again.
That's the entire plot of Leif.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, no, but no matter who's writing the blog, if E, for example, is the one to tip them off who he is in a fit of rage, in like, you have done something unforgivable, I will now tell them, I regret it afterwards.
Maybe, but would you come back from that kind of betrayal? Would you actually be like, no, it's cool, we had a fight, you were angry, I get it, now let's kiss and make up? Would you? I have never been in this situation. I will say, I'm not the prince, not gonna head out of the country, haven't drunken and driven. You know, I haven't done any of these things. But if someone I loved or who was that close to me betrayed me in that kind of way, I don't know if I could forgive them. I mean, at least not to a point of like, oh, I forgive you and I trust you again and I want to be with you again.
I mean, I think it might depend on the circumstances.
Okay. Okay. If E... I don't want to use so much alcohol in the story maybe, but like if E and Hugo have some sort of fight, falling out, whatever, E gets really drunk and blabs.
Yeah.
That I can get.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you meant.
Something like that.
I thought he was just really angry and just went, putting up posters or megaphone. I don't believe it. Okay, that's better. That's better.
Yeah.
But would he know who to blab to? Or would... Because I'm thinking the blog poster will be anonymous.
Mm.
And not anonymous sitting in the corner of a pub with a hood up and just taking notes. They would be completely anonymous.
Yeah.
But I guess also if you're a good gossipper, but also a good gossip blogger, you do pick things up.
Yeah.
You do find out ways to ask about things without making it obvious, and you do pick up on things.
Yeah, I mean, basically you would place yourself in a position where you hear all the gossip. So you wouldn't have to tell that specific person, but that specific person is going to hear it sooner or later.
Yeah. And also, I mean, because I want this, take this the right way, I want this gossip blog to be fair in that it doesn't target a specific person or a specific group of people. I want it to gossip about everyone and everything. All the scandals, all the drama, all the speculation on campus. Mm-hmm. These people are hooking up. They cheated on a test. They're actually not rich. Like whatever it may be that matters to these people at the school. And not target specific people, which either means that, it's not going to be every single one at the school, and I also don't know if it's going to be like, this, it's going to be vague enough to be like, but blue-eyed, a blue-eyed beauty was seen doing this and that, or if it's going to be Steve did this.
Steve, the blue-eyed beauty.
Yes. It's either going to have to be a big enough blog, a big enough school that not everyone gets talked about because there's not enough time, or that the person writing it reveals something about themselves so that no one will suspect them. If it's a class of 20 people and only 19 people are mentioned, probably the 20th person writing this blog. What?
If I was them, I would write about myself, but pick one other person not to write about.
That's smart. Yeah. I like that. I mean, that's much smarter than writing about yourself, but only nice things. Oh yeah, Markus's biggest flaw is that he always picks up litter, and it's so annoying the campus is clean. It's all your fault. Yeah, you're smart.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yes, I could accept that E accidentally, not in a fit of rage of I am so pissed at you, but more so I'm, not doing it on purpose. What?
We talked about Hugo talking E into coming to parties, but E was just sitting in a corner and reading or discussing politics or school subjects with other nerds.
The corner I'd be in, yes.
Yeah. I'm just thinking if Hugo manages to get E to a party and now we're gonna drink. We're gonna get you drunk.
Oh no.
And
it's his own fault.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Yeah. I would also like and by like I mean I would torture my characters and make their lives miserable, once, because I mean something has to come out on this blog about Hugo that he doesn't want out, but that isn't the big scandal. It doesn't have to, I mean it could just be that other people get gossip about. It hasn't been his turn yet, and this would be, he fears, once he hears from the opponent, that's, you know, he fears that this is the next thing to come out, or like the other person's like, oh, we're gonna talk about drunk driving, yes or no. And he's like, shit, and he pulls out the blog and he's like, what's new? Is that like, is it me? But either way, the parties and E being off in corners all the time, he could also be on his phone.
Yeah.
And it reaches a point later, like, as the news, the big scandal hasn't broken, but something has happened, the opponent has said the thing, Hugo realizes that it's probably coming out soon. He gets really scared, he gets really worried, all these things, because this is also the point. This is now after, I have a train of thought. This is now after he failed or lost the debate. His parents put the ultimatum in. If this scandal breaks, they already know about the scandal, probably, unless they don't. Unless they've just been fed up with the fact that he doesn't do what he should do. They don't know about this scandal, which in that case can't be a big drunk driving thing, because then they would know.
Unless it's a hit and run and he thinks no one knows it's him.
Okay, cool. Because, yeah, lost the debate, had the ultimatum, realizing that this scandal is about to become public. And if it is, that will be his parents' breaking point. He will be disowned. He can't protect his sister, which he's been trying to do now for the last little bit of time here. Either way, realizing it's on the way out, gets really upset and stressed out, snaps at E, and accuses him of being the one behind the blog, because you're always at the parties on your phone. What's to say that you're not?
Obviously, you're there to listen to gossip and put it on the blog.
Yeah.
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 I like it because it hurts them. That's a good takeaway.
Yes. I am wondering though if the scandal is not known.
His scandalous past, yes, but not this specific.
Yeah, the specific, the really bad one. Will it not come out? Because I'm a little bit, depending on what kind of thing it is, maybe it wouldn't be a great moral of the story that just keep it quiet and you can still become king.
No, and if it does come out here, even here in the time, even if he's had since his parents' ultimatum has been trying to do the right thing and he has been improving and doing, like, you know, the scandal breaking means that this journey fails as well. It should come out because I want it to come out, because A, that wouldn't be good, and B, I want it to be him having to own up to it, and also seeing who his true friends are, who stay, like, you know, all that would be a good lesson for him.
I mean, he could be worried. Like, he could think that if this comes out, that's gonna be the last straw. But when it does come out, he has or can prove that I am now better, and it won't get him disowned. Then it's probably not a hit and run like put someone in the hospital, but
hopefully not. No, we've got to figure that out.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna have dinner.
Yay!